Welcome to this comprehensive class member transition program policy training provided by the UIC College of Nursing. This training will address the CCMTP staff credential and training requirements, document submission and obtaining signatures, and agency assignments and transfer policies. Appropriate staff qualifications and document submission are required to ensure adherence to consent decree requirements, accurate tracking and reporting, clinical review and oversight, and timely reimbursement. This training will enable comprehensive program staff to understand staff credential and training requirements, correctly submit comprehensive program documents and obtain signatures appropriately, including when physical signatures are unavailable, and understand how to facilitate and document a class member transfer from one prime agency to another prime agency. The information provided in this training module is outlined in Policy P0.04, Staff Credential Requirements, Policy P0.09, CCMTP Training Requirements and Opportunities, Policy P0.03, Prime Agency Assignments and Transfers, Policy P0.01, Document Submission, and Policy P0.02, Signatures. Please note that this training module presents an overview of the information provided in more detail in these policies. CCMTP program staff should read and understand each policy in detail. Staff Credential Requirements, Policy P0.04. Per Policy P0.04, both the Williams and Colbert consent decrees specify the level of training and credentials required for certain elements of the comprehensive program. In addition, it is important that program staff and partners are aware of the staff performing each role at an agency and how they can be contacted. To ensure compliance with these credential requirements, IDHS will request staffing reports from prime agencies as needed. UIC-CON may also request staffing updates to ensure clinical documents are completed by qualified staff. Staff credentials should also be maintained within the web app. Individual staff should ensure their credentials and supervisor information are accurately reflected. IDHS will consider staff credential requirement waiver requests when the prime agency has determined that a potential candidate does not have the credentials but has the background and experience to perform the duties of a role. The request should be emailed to the Community Reintegration Programs Administrator and OMSU Director and should include the rationale for the request, a copy of the candidate's updated resume, and the credentials of the direct supervisor of the potential candidate. The candidate must be directly supervised by staff that meet the minimum credential requirements for the role. If the IDHS team approves the request, it will be communicated to the prime agency and UIC-CON team. If the IDHS team denies the request, a rationale will be provided to the prime agency. CCMTP Training Requirements and Opportunities, Policy P0.09. To ensure uniformity across prime agencies, all prime agency staff funded by the comprehensive program must complete a series of required training modules within 60 days of their initial hire, as well as annually within 60 days of primes being notified of the annual training release. These modules include Introduction to Colbert-Williams consent decrees, Introduction to Care Management, the module you are engaging with now, Module T0.1, Staff Credential and Training Requirements, document submission, signatures, and agency assignments and transfers. T0.2, informed consent. T1.1, referral for transition. T1.2, declined outcomes and appeals. T3.1, service planning. T3.2, pre-transition processes. T3.3, SOAR. T5.1, post-transition processes. T6.1, special processes. Motivational interviewing, Medicaid waivers, and an introduction to the web app. UIC Con and IDHS also provide regular technical assistance webinars in a roundtable format. These are typically offered on the second and fourth Thursday of each month. IDHS requires that at least one staff from each prime agency attend these TA roundtables. In addition to these required modules and TA roundtables, UIC Con routinely hosts care management and condition-specific webinars focused on the needs of class members and identified areas of improvement for staff. These webinars are strongly encouraged for all prime agency care management and related staff, but are not mandatory. Prime agency assignments and transfers, Policy P0.03. Class members who have already transitioned into the community remain assigned to the prime agency responsible for their transition, except where transfers, as outlined in Policy P0.03, are approved. Transfers can take place following a class member's request, when a class member transfers between facilities, or, with the class member's consent, when arranged between two prime agencies directly. Transfers require the approval of IDHS. There are specific procedures and forms associated with each type of transfer, for example, utilizing the Change Prime Request feature in the web app. These procedures are described in detail in Policy P0.03, Prime Agency Assignments and Transfers. Document Submission, Policy P0.01. Most CCMTP documentation is submitted via the CCMTP web app, either through direct entry or file attachment. Special program processes have their own unique submission requirements that are described in detail in their related policy. For example, Policy P6.5, UIC ATU, and Bridge Subsidy Policies P4.03, P4.06, P4.07, and P4.08. As described in the previous slide, core CCMTP activities are reflected through direct entry into the web app by prime agency users. Documentation from quality and clinical reviews are completed through the web app with a combination of prime agency, UIC Con, and IDHS participation. Review requests and subsequent call documentation are located in the review inbox within the web app. Additional components are attached to the member files and signed documents section, such as signed informed consent, 24-hour backup plans, and other supporting clinical documentation. Documentation that is uploaded as an attachment to the web app or submitted via email for special processes must be submitted using a standard naming convention. Generally, this is composed of the member's web app ID, the first 3 letters of the class member's last name, the first 3 letters of the class member's first name, the name of the clinical document being submitted, the prime agency's abbreviated name, and the document date. Within a file name, a prime agency's name will be abbreviated according to this chart. Use of these standard naming conventions enables faster processing of documents, and ensures that the documents will be received by the appropriate persons at UIC Con and IDHS. General web app processes, such as managing web app user access, locating a class member in the web app, and document types housed within the web app, are outlined in Policy P0.06. Specific training on the use of the app can be found on the Colbert-Williams training website. All documents submitted outside of the web app must be submitted using the Entrust encryption software and must follow the file naming convention requirements previously described. Since the file names themselves are not encrypted when sent as an attachment via Entrust, use of the file naming convention ensures that the class member's privacy is protected. Every document submitted outside of the web app process must be protected using Entrust if protected health information, PHI, is included. Do not include PHI in the email subject line or the body of the email. PHI is defined by HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. PHI includes full first or last names, Medicaid RINs, date of birth, Social Security numbers, or other information that could directly identify an individual. Web app class member IDs or case IDs are not considered PHI. The subject line of the email should be the same as the name of the documents being submitted to ensure quick dissemination to the appropriate persons. A way to save time when using Entrust is to launch the Entrust Certificate Explorer, either from the Start menu or from the Entrust icon in your notification area. You can search for recipients by email address and add them to your Trusted People list, which makes it easier to locate them when you are encrypting a document. You can also create personal encryption groups containing several different people you want to encrypt a document to. For example, the list of individuals on the document submission encryption list, and select that group when encrypting a document. This can save a significant amount of time when submitting documents. Also note that Entrust will allow you to encrypt a batch of documents at the same time if you are encrypting them to the same recipients. Only a prime agency with a direct contract with IDHS to provide comprehensive services should submit documents to UIC or IDHS. If the prime agency has delegated some of its duties to a subcontractor, that subcontractor should not submit the documents on behalf of the prime agency via email. This ensures that prime agencies are reviewing the activities of their subcontractors and that accountabilities can clearly be identified. All documents uploaded into the web app member files and documents should be referenced in a program note summarizing the content of the document. Signatures, Policy P0.02. Signatures are required on specific comprehensive program documents. Some documents require multiple individuals' signatures, including the class member, their guardian, facility staff, comprehensive program staff, and other participants, depending on the document. Signatures are used to verify that individuals were involved in the process and understand it. This includes receiving the information and understanding the next steps. Prime agencies must obtain physical signatures on the original document whenever possible. It is best practice to upload copies of these documents to the web app under Member Files and Signed Documents. IDHS or UIC Con may request copies of signed documents be uploaded into the web app or sent via encrypted email for audit or quality review purposes at any time. All documents uploaded into the web app should be referenced in a program note summarizing the content of the document. If a class member is physically unable to sign a document, the prime agency can obtain verbal consent. However, there must be 2 witnesses to the class member's agreement. The first witness should be the comprehensive program staff completing the document with the class member, and the second witness can be another program staff person or staff from the nursing facility or SMRF. The document should clearly indicate verbal consent was obtained and the reason the class member was unable to sign. Prime agencies are responsible for obtaining and maintaining records with the required signatures. Informed consents, including a valid signature, must be uploaded to the CCMTP web app. If consent is required as part of a specific procedure, such as declined outcomes, prime agencies must follow the process outlined in the applicable policy, for example, Policy P1.02, Declined Outcomes. Prime agencies must maintain records with the original signatures. Current versions of all comprehensive program policies and forms can be found in the web app library, and educational resources can be found on the Colbert-Williams training website, managed by the UIC College of Nursing. Any questions can be directed to the Colbert-Williams Help Desk, linked at the bottom of every page of the Colbert-Williams training website. Thank you for your attention and efforts to ensure safe and successful class member transitions.